it's pretty good, but very detailed. A lot of originality in it. Um, and and in the same year, it was something that was that. In the state, yeah. Another really important moment happened, which is the release of Stable Diffusion 1.4, quickly followed by 1.5. Stable Diffusion, similar to Midjourney, was a text and image generation AI. The difference is that it's open source. So it's open, weight, and open source. And what that meant is that you as you can download the model and you can tweak it. You can do whatever with it. You can tinker with it, change the behavior of it, take it apart, use only components of it, use other things in combination of it, right? And that just unlocked this vibrant ecosystem of developers building around this open source model, right? It is estimated that Stable Diffusion has between 4 to 6 times more users than Midjourney, if you just count the top consumer applications that are built using Stable Diffusion versus the Midjourney to use that. So needless to say, huge Cambrian explosions of creativity unlocked by this model. And fast forward 2 more years, there was another very important rollout that began last year, which was the announcement of OpenAI with Sora, that marked as the first AI model that created very high quality videos just using text. Or you see this, you can kind of see this footage could very well be on TV somewhere. And not only this, it was fast followed by many other competitors that were very similar to Sora in terms of Twitch following. But today we probably have like 6 or 7 companies in the market working on very similar things compared to. So if we look at the progression of that, the bubble bidding spread, like modality keeps improving, I'd say, like from text to image to text to video. We moved very much from a single AI model world to today, which is a pipeline world, which people are combining a single AI model with other models together, with other components together, building more complex systems. If you did compare like a company that has like AI-based avatar generation versus something like OpenAI, right? OpenAI. ChatGPT is one single model which you chat with it gives you response. Versus an avatar generation is a series of probably 10, 30, 50 models that are created and and the user experience is a little changed. For sure, things like things like ChatGPT has created new behaviors being this to learn, right? So we're sitting there with typing codes, we're sitting there with adding with this ChatGPT. But at the same time, we're also starting to see people very much apply AI to our natural behavior, right? Like, and when AI is being sprinkled into all the different parts of how we like to use tools today, especially in the creative process. I think it's really important, though. I think it's really important to recognize that because, while the creative process is complex, right? And as you go on a journey to create something, oftentimes you have a vision, but you don't really have a clear picture of what it'll come at. And the creative process itself is a learning process. You do things out of the direction, and you discover new things, and you keep improving. And so, I think it's really important for creative AIs to be designed more as a thought partner, and then a thing that just makes everything super simple. The other thing to note is, of course, things are works much faster. Like things that used to take 5 to 20 seconds per operation. Now it's a second. And what that creates is an opportunity for real-time video AI, especially in the open source world where all of these experimentations happen. Okay, so I'll take a pause here and do a quick demo of a kind of what open source real-time video AI look like today. I mean, just plug it. Oh, excuse. Okay, our computer trying really hard. What does it do? Yeah. So what is happening is when I did a make the read. Ding ding ding. See, that's like a ding. Okay. So what's happening here is like it's taking the camera input, a boom will constant transfer on everything. So now it's just like purely the PI's imagination of what this world looks like based on this camera. How can we twist? What it yeah, so now that was just purely the AI thinking about stuff without any fucked up if they see that are attached. So now what we're going to do is to kind of influence this thinking a little bit, right, by giving to prompts. Let's see, what is that? What is that? In it, boom. Can we say that I was here and back here? Still looks like Professor Xavier's classroom. Good evening. And so that looked. Let's say calculated a what? It's showing us to the present tense in the late side. No, just castle as well. The common make things look out, but all the French way for sense. Okay, so like real time cell transfer is happening. I don't know. Also, bust it back to the other laptop. It's been. So let me explain a bit about what was going on behind the scenes, right? Before we get in there, a couple is kind of core concepts. The first one is about how live video works, right? So there was a webcam that was capturing live video, putting it into the AI, transferring it, re-encoding the video. Live video usually works like this. You have a capture camera. It encodes the video from kind of analog space to digital space. So encoding gets sent using video protocol. Things like what you see, RTMP. It gets received on the other end. Usually it gets sent over the internet. Right? Received on the other end, gets decoded and rendered on the screen. And it's basically a series of frames, right? Each video frame, you can think of it as an image. And the encoding process makes it very data efficient. So instead of every image takes like 2 to 3 megabytes. You can group together a bunch of images and make it much smaller and make the video much smaller than the combination of all images. And that's very important for any kind of video streaming on the internet to be able to encode it and compress it as low as possible, because bandwidth on the internet is very limited resource. Now let's look at AI inference. Right? So this is kind of high-level architecture of Stable Diffusion. Pretty complex. Right? There's all these different modules. But what it's doing is that it's taken steps to introduce noise into the picture, guided by the AI, so that after it takes a few steps, it actually creates an image of what they're going to, then this guide process. It's called a denoising process, right? And then basically the diffusion process happens in multiple denoising processes. Another thing I want to introduce is this project called ConfigUI, which is currently the leading open source uncreative AI toolkit. ConfigUI was created by somebody who was trying to use Stable Diffusion in a much more in-depth way. They talked about the Stable Diffusion model, which allowed people to really tinker with it, but really have to write a bunch of code to like really dig deep and tinker with it. So he took Coffee Anonymous. He was a programmer, but he felt like, I want to create a tool to be able to easily tinker with it on a very deep level. So he created this kind of graph-based interface that really allows you to dig deep. Right? Here's an example of generating. It's called an image-to-image workflow, right? So it's generating a alien style, like a robot alien style image from this input image. Right? We see, the middle step is we generate the step map. It inputs the depth map into the AI model, along with a text prompt here, which is a futuristic cyborg in the alien station. And then the model has learned what each of these words correlate to by learning about all the different images on the internet. That is able to take that as an input, take the depth map as an input, as a constraint, and really create a new image that's has the same structure as the old image. Yeah. All of this stuff you can't just do with a prompt, right? You really have to dig deep and think about, okay, how do I decompose the structure of the image? How do I really guide the AI in this process so that it creates the output that I'm looking for? And this is the power of the UI. And because of this, there's a huge open source ecosystem that got created from this tool. Every little box that you see here is called a custom node, and any developer can develop a custom node. So in a short span of 2 years, it's estimated there's now over 10,000 custom nodes created by open source developers. If you look at the popularity of ConfigUI, which is the red line, so this is a number of GitHub stars. ConfigUI, started out inside by the suits because it's Stable Diffusion. In the middle of last year, it surpassed the popularity of Stable Diffusion because it's gone beyond just Stable Diffusion. Now it's all encompassing of all AI models. And a couple months ago, we even surpassed the Meta Llama model, which is the leading LLM So there's a huge amount of interest around this project. So I'll just show you a little bit of something that people created using ConfigUI. Right? So this is created by the filmmaker in LA. And it's like these dancing clouds. Right? And then, I spoke with him yesterday in person when I went to SF, and he was sharing a little bit about the process. There's some videos or music is playing. It's just quite beautiful. It's peace. And something. Well, others, you talk about. Sit. that. We put that. We do. Forward. Good. And a bar. Forward. Wait. It's good thing. Right. A piece of work by Paul Trollo. Right. You see, if you think about the process of creating that piece and the amount of control that you would need in order to create that, make it to make it exactly what you're looking for. Paul comes from a traditional production background and has been, making films for a long time. And really just find out the process of how he really used the company UI as a tool to create this piece, right? It was quite amazing. A lot of work went into it, right? So it's almost like it's the same amount of work that goes into creating that film, but you receive a new tool that gives you more control and that allows you to create a totally different look and feel for the album. So now let's switch back a little bit to the real time stuff, right? So what we saw there was, lots of work and lots of AI processing in order to create that output. Right? So in the real time scenario, it's a little different because you don't have a lot of time, but you're trying to process everything in real time as quickly as possible. We're basically making trade-off of quality, but what you gain instead is interactivity, which is a new derivation like they did with your creates AI work. So first of all, let me walk you through the comfy UI view of that live stream. Right. So here's comfy UI. Here's the workflow that powers this screen, as I'm turning around. So what's happening here is there's I'll walk through this straight, like they did give me as a general idea. What's an input image? We have a prompt text box available, right? Click text. We have a control net. The control net basically is another input that goes into the model, the AI model. And then finally, the kind of have is the case sampler, which is the sampling step above for the AI model. So think of it as where the noisy step happens. So here I am. I'm doing a style transfer. I think that is an example works well. I'm doing a style transfer, transferring grandpa meme into the Hulk, right? And then here's sounded output. Now if I go back here and do the same, the called unbound. Everybody's off. So if it's just processing, we see the 20 frames per second here. So it's running this process 20 times a second or 25 times a second, right? So this is how fast it has to be for the real time to evacuate work. And we'll create a bunch of tools that allows people to really experiment with the type. So this is the project that we're working on right now, right? Allowing people to use the UI as a tool to really experiment with the type of real-time AI experience that can be created. And then, this is a pretty early stage project. We've been working on it for 3 or 4 months at this point. I'll show you some examples of what people are doing. It's so the other day, somebody on the team made this silly game where the objective of the game is to trick the AI into create, right? So what is this? It's the objective is you're given an image in this corner, and what you have to do is to use the combination of a prompt and anything in the real world to make something look like a pizza. So now it doesn't look like a pizza. Maybe if I say like bread with cheese. Very good. Okay, starting that. It look a little more like bread with cheese, and if I did it over here, bread, tomato with cheese and pepperoni. You use some pepperoni. Okay, gonna do it like a pizza. And you see that the other thing that the AI is doing is it's generating the images. There's also a model, an image recognition model, to see the similarity between what's generated in the frame and the challenge image. Right. So it's a game that's kind of all self-contained in this one AI workflow. Yeah. Right. Plus you have to tune the parameter to make it a playable game, right? Because now the face probably this thing is close enough. So that's where it lands. But yeah, you get the general idea, right? So the design space is quite big. You can put a lot of interactivity into these types of workflows and really create pretty interesting experiences. People are doing live performances. People are doing designing games and all kinds of use cases. So okay, I'll sit back. Okay. Okay, I'll show a couple of other demo videos. Right here on the left is a live portrait example. So this one works a little differently. You see the quality is a lot higher. The reason is that you have much less degree of freedom, so you can really control the output quality. So what's happening here is I am driving the face of an animated character using my face, and all I need is an image of this character. Right, and in real time, the AI is doing facial recognition, recognizing my eyes, all those positions of my face, and mapping that onto the image. And it works really well, but the constraint is that I can't turn my head too much, or I can't move my body like this, right? Because it's like locked onto the face, and it only can change small ranges of the image itself. But if you can put that constraint on the work that you're doing, you can create pretty interesting output. Another demo on the right here is a kind of a more creative visualization tool, right? This is using a diffuser model. So on the right side is the input, on the left side is the output. What we see is that AI is kind of taking in that fluid pattern and then creating the output based on my prompt, right? So I typed in grassy field, very grassy field. I was typing in like waves, create waves. There's some DJs that are experimenting with this, right? Doing a DJ, like visual components of the iconic music that they're making. You can kind of do this. You can control this in real time. Yeah, because started like what they know how to do. So just to kind of review some of the concept that we went through, right? Like we talked about how live video generally works on the internet with what consists of frames of images and chunks of audio, and those are kind of the input that we're working with in this real-time AI video workflows. And then we have the AI inference, right, which are kind of workflows that process image frames and audio chunks using AI models, and that you can control that AI inference process really to get what you want out of it. We talked about Comfy UI, which is an open source AI workflow management tool, and a community of artists and technologists around the world. We also talked about Comfy Stream and real-time interaction, right, which is this new element that you can design into Weir Free, dynamically reflecting the user actions in real-time video. Cool. Yeah, so that's a little bit of the workshop. Please ask any question. And this QR code, I think, leads you to an email sign-up form. And so if you're interested to learn more about this, or if you're interested even in attending the New York City UI meetup, just input your email, and then I could get you set up there. Cool. Yeah, good question. Do you guys have any questions further? Figure about it, that is super important that the comments are a bit down, frankly.
Has the results looks like are not stable with change between frames, right? So it's not consistent. So we can solve it.
Yeah, good question. Temporal consistency is a really important topic. The field right now, short answer is yes. There are like solutions being worked on right now that I think even we're working with just Berkeley on a research project right now. And I think the output of that research will dramatically improve the temporal consistency.
I think.
I have a question. I have a question regarding about the modern LoRa you used. So, like, did you create those models? Like, did you train those models, or like, how do you control over like, oh, I want this style, and then you make sure that it's like definitely in this style, like rather than it kind of has some like random steps in there, kind of similar to a question someone just asked.
Yeah, really great question. So like, how do you control the output that you're looking for? Yeah, LoRa is a great way to do it. I actually did not have a LoRa in that workflow. It was just it was a fine tune of Stable Diffusion 1.5 called Dream Shaper, which is a pretty popular one that a lot of people use. There's room to add LoRa. There's room to add different types of control nets. There's room to add IP adapters, right? All the tools that you have at your disposal in Comfy UI for the SD 1.5 family, you can do in Livepeer as well. As long as it's set to none.
Going to figure. I learned a little about Comfy UI this past semester. And when I was playing around videos and reading about this program, I wonder how much harder the Comfy UI is in processing the videos right now. Because we can see a lot of many artists work around the billboards. We can see it on the internet. However, we cannot actually care a lot about if the film industry is using any movie or the trade agencies using it for business I wonder if we didn't care about it or it's not that important yet.
Yeah, great question. And Comfy UI is by far the most widely adopted AI creative tool in the world. There are millions of users around the world using it. I was actually surprised when I was speaking with the core team. Apparently, about half of the users are in China, and that's because of the heavy anime interest in China. Like Comfy's really good at generating anime, so that's being used a lot. There's also a big, I think, like big population in LA, like in the creative industry in LA that use Comfy. Definitely being used in the more professional film production companies. Oftentimes in combination of all the other technologies that you use, like After Effects or things like that, like VFX. It's really big in VFX, right? The graphics community is also starting to adopt Comfy UI, and the reason is because it takes so long to render something, right? From CG to actually to get the output, but using AI is a much faster way to preview how things may look like, and that's supported by the process. And then they can go, once they're like much more confident in the stuff that they created, then they can go render like when you take a long time to do it. In the advertising, agencies also used very widely. So lots of the ads that we see today on Instagram, Facebook, things like that are already generated by Comfy UI. The best. And by the way, there's a little trick, which is cool. I don't know if a lot of you know it, but Comfy UI, when you generate an image, Comfy UI embeds the workflow is the metadata of the image. So if you just drag the image over to the Comfy UI window, it'll show the workflow if it's created by Comfy UI. Awesome. I have a question. So there's so many different tools for generating AI video. There's so many ways to do so. There's text to video, image to video, video, real-time video. Just like LLMs, there's the war between companies using open source and closed source. As like students at ITB in creative tech, how do we make sense of all of this? Where do you personally think are the best ways to generate video? Is it text to video? Is it video to video? What are the current, downsides of those, and how do you see this space developing? Yeah, I think, this plain text to video, like, the stuff that you see on like Sora or Claim or these types of things. It's like a little bit like a magic trick, and it's like, okay, it's cool. It's like an interesting demo that gets people's attention. But as soon as you start to want control, which is what people want in the creative process, they want control. You want to really understand the behavior of the AI, and you want to use that behavior to advantage when you're creating. When you're doing that, I haven't seen a proprietary tool that really gives you because you need to dig very, very deep and experiment a lot with the behavior of these models. And then I just haven't seen a tool that allows you to do that except for Comfy UI, which is open source, right? And the thing about open source is that it's much harder to learn. Like if you compare learning about Comfy UI versus Claim, right, much harder. But once you learn it, then it becomes like a tool that you can that's the only tool you can actually get the job done. So as I see this over and over again with people who kind of take time to learn Comfy, that they just can't use any kind of tool basically. So people will the professionals would use Comfy and then After Effects and like for other Adobe tools that or other kind of more traditional plugin tools that people use. But for like quick stuff, you can, if you're creating like a TikTok video or anything like that, I think there are platforms that are just for to for that, and you can do like a, you know, like you have two images that start and there's the keyframe, and you can pass it into the AI, and the AI will kind of do its best interpretation, right? So that kind of stuff that they see to use closest ones. And so, the more questions? Okay, thank you so much, Eric. Yeah, of course. And I can set up, if you want to come up and play with the real-time AI stuff, I could prompts and exchange the behavior. But for the covering the rest of it. So that, just out of curiosity, who used from ITB? Just to raise a man, also then who's not ITB? Okay, the people with not ITB, how many every IMA? Start. Then who's not IMA or ITB? Awesome. Camden? Okay, great. Okay, that's totally good that we're happy with that. So we are GenArt NYU, and we have the first club at NYU to sort of talk about the topic of generative art. We have a small research team that we are continuous reading for people who's deeply interested in this stuff, who wants to explore all these tools with us to work on this company, to maybe, tweak our old models and do maybe even, find different ways to create, art with these a lot of pipelines. If you're interested, come talk to me, DJ, and Jawan afterwards, and let's talk. So that, please feel free to come out and try and help you string for yourself. And awesome.
Great.
Thank you.
Those of you who are the sheep out.
And those of you who are interested in further information and stuff, you can select the QR here and order our GenArt book.
One more thing. We do have a big event coming up later this semester in collaboration with one of the best AI video companies called Minimax Taibo. They're offering us a lot of credits to do a film hackathon of sorts. So stay tuned for that. And today, very important, generate, but rather red. To make sure those and play it. What they do know about everything they got up to the however, we see those drawings, teamwork, people. So, but telling, it's a a lot. That was we don't think what. Well, it's give like them, but them, the oxygen, like it.
快速的缓一下，你不用了吧？
They're excuse me, what was his name?
His name?
The speed.
Oh, Eric. Eric Sandler. Feel free to talk to
Yeah.
me here. And
Are you also one of the leaders there?
yeah, are you not scared of
Oversaw.
Oh, you there?
Yeah.
You can did you scan a QR?
Yeah, I think I'm following you on Instagram.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So when do you have this?
You have the film thing coming out.
Yeah, it's great to see. We're still I'm participating in it, and then that coming back to relax as from everything right. The best it's kind of always short to them. So I can care.
Wait, so it's a hackathon?
It's like a building. So basically, you use those to make a link, but you don't have to something. And then
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
That's an actual film.
We're still working on the process of it, and then basically we're keep updating everything.
How's the bank?
Yeah, about what this person.
Yeah, I'm cool. So too. I'm a friend with DJ, so
Oh, great.
I get all the information.
Yeah, that would be great.
Did you were you listening to ITP?
On Java hours at night.
IMA also.
We're on.
Oh, still. What year are you?
Oh, some.
It's a sophomore?
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder I haven't seen your car.
Yeah, that's probably why. Oh, I don't come here a lot.
Can I ask how late you are?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like the so funny story.
Oh, really? It's not the kid. Oh my god.
Because I'm not YouTube.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. So we got presents. And that's an in record.
Yeah.
You got Dallas and Maybe
Yeah,
you see a lot about it. About ringer dip
different.
and that
The rest and like when the trees start to about
to the wall. All that.
they can use the lights of it.
So the rename to make it understood. Good. No, but like yeah, see, we're getting in my lecture. So this, I'm gonna do